Good morning, this is Tracy Brown here, and so this week we're still in the spirit of acceptance. Acceptance sometimes of what our clients are going through, the pace at which they can go, maybe the pace that you're going in your own business or with your own food and body image concerns. I just want to mention that I don't think that anybody's expected to be like, oh, I 100% love my body all the time, to be a good coach or nutrition therapist or whatever. I do think that we need to know what our body image discomforts are, or our struggles with food are. We need to be really, I think, clear about that and not be kind of riding around the dark around it. I think that's really important. And that's, of course, the role of doing your own either therapy work or coaching or supervision. All of those things, all of those genres can help you kind of shed light on all the blind spots and be, working on some peace with all that. So I want you to be okay with that. Like, it's okay. When I first started this work, I was really good with body eating enough. Probably the thing that was a little bit of a struggle for me was just really, still really consistently making my needs a priority. That was still a place where I wasn't all that good at. So it was just time and recognizing that, gosh, I'm not all that much better than a lot of my clients are around this. And just recognizing that alone helped me kind of be more motivated to do some deeper inquiry about that. So I just wanted to let you all know that that's really normal. And that's, we're all a work in progress. So that being said, I want to shift gears a little bit to this idea of our clients accepting health at every size. And so our clients aren't going to accept it at first. Our job really is to be able to introduce it as, here's another option for you to live and having the body you have in this world, with all this other information that says you can only be thinner to be fit, to be healthy, whatever. And this is important because a lot of our clients are going to have a hard time with getting and accepting, let's say, full permission to eat and intuitive eating if they don't first have a foundation of is it safe for me or healthy for me to be eating all the foods? Because that's part of the holdup, is that there's just this fear that I'm already in a bigger body, let's say. How can I let myself eat what I want? Because it's just going to get me bigger and then more unhealthy, and then I'm going to have to diet, So they feel like they're trapped. And health at every size and all the evidence that supports that is a way that we can say, hey, I hear you with this, but what has your experience been? And here is some science that actually supports that. And even on top of that, here are some people who actually live it, who report their labs are good, that they can do some stuff they want to do, and they don't have to be smaller to get there. Now, those are all the little steps that help us get there. But what I would say first is that I never try to get clients to believe me or accept what I'm trying to offer them or say. What we want to do is offer that there's an alternative. And what is it like for them to continue with the status quo or continue with the narrative that, unless they lose weight, they can't be healthy? Has that actually made them healthier, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, any kind of way? And in everything they've ever done, and in all the ways they food restricted themselves, are they actually healthier? And so that's your first step. It's not convincing them that health at every size is the way they should be or the way they should go. It's first, what has happened with this belief system for you? How has that worked in your life for you? Secondly, then it's there is another paradigm. And those of you who have taken my 12-week unpacking and decoding and non-counseling diet skills course, that I don't even talk about health at every size until week, I think 8 and 9, so we only even get to the last third of the course before we even talk about how I introduce it, because a lot of times our clients are coming to us, they want immediate relief now. And so we are doing interventions and doing experiments and doing a lot of unpacking of just their current stressors around not eating enough and deprivation-driven eating and binge eating, and helping them kind of like make meaning and sense of their history so they can have enough foundation underneath them to take a step forward. Okay. The last thing I'll say about acceptance is that if y'all are like me, I'm pretty much like, I'm a really big picture thinker. So I see like all the ways in which all these little pieces of their history have gotten them to where they're at. And I also see the pieces of like, if they do X, Y, Z, and D, you know, how that's going to probably unfold in their lives. I mean, I'm not a fortune teller or a mind reader. I'm just like, you can kind of see where all the current struggles in their life are also mirroring with their food and what might happen in those other pieces as well. And so sometimes I'm kind of busy painting pictures for them of what might be possible with taking this one risk this week with your food. So, you know, the first, like I said in that course, really we're doing a lot of that kind of work. Starting with that first session, starting with those first couple of sessions when you're reviewing some foundation, you know, skills around decoding and physiology and why what's happened with their body is happening and how it's not their fault, and educating about diet culture and stuff like that. So that stuff kind of has to happen first, because when we're really holding on to even something that's miserable for us, unless we feel like that what we might choose differently could be safer than that, we're probably not willing to let go. And so that's where the foundation comes in those first several sessions. And then health at every size. I mean, probably the soonest I've ever introduced HAES is, I don't know, 3 or 4 sessions in, but that's for a person who's like, what about the health? What about the health? What about the health? And then you're going to want to recommend, like I said, I give a lot of handouts in my course, but you could also recommend, you know, Body Trust, Big Fat Lies. Those are some books that I recommend that people use. I love the Health at Every Size book. I really, really, really do. It's so good, but the nutrition section of it, I can't, I feel like it's too triggering, to be perfectly honest. So if I know a section of a book is triggering and a client would benefit from it, but I also think that that part would do some harm, I won't recommend it. So again, a lot of you know me, I don't have it in my recommendation reading list because of the nutrition part, and I don't think that that was meant to do any harm. It's just kind of how it ended up. So again, I think all of it's good except for the nutrition section. And I've only had one client who could read that book and just like listen to me and like, don't read that section, because anybody else who does, they get kind of triggered by it. So anyway, I think that's it for today. So tomorrow I'm going to have more of a visual for you all to be kind of thinking about and applying. And then of course Friday, it's going to be Q&A Friday. If I don't get any specific like counseling or clinical questions, I'm definitely going to be talking about some business skill stuff. So and I'll put that in the notes about it as well. So I hope you join me. Please bring your questions to the table, and I'm really excited you're here. I'll talk to you all Friday. Bye.